tonight, our guest, Matt of RetroWolf88, is with us. As you can see, he has a large collection, I believe, from the title of his game room video, right around 3,000 games, which is about 2,800 more than I probably have. So, Matt, I think you started your channel about 2 years ago from browsing through your content. Is that about right?
Yeah, I started in January 2019, so about 2.5 years roughly.
Well, you have a hell of a lot of videos since then.
Yeah, man, we went kind of crazy in the beginning, like the first couple of years, and then just the last few months we scaled back to one video a week. We were maintaining 2 videos a week for a while.
Excellent. Videos a week, damn. And you're keeping up with a full-time job too, I'm guessing?
Oh yeah, dude, full-time job, wife, pets, responsibilities, the whole 9 yards, dude. And I'm trying to start a business. Yeah, there's not a moment in my life when I'm not busy as hell doing something. It's just I'm nonstop at all hours of the day, except when I'm sleeping, of course.
There you go. It's about that motivation, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And plus, the way I look at it is this: the busier that I stay, the more likely I am to stay out of trouble.
So rather than asking what Switch games you have, I should ask, which Switch games do you not have? Because from that wall, good Lord.
Yeah. Let's just say I have a little bit of an addiction with the Nintendo Switch. I went a little bit crazy now. I have slowed down a lot in I would say the last year or so, but I'm up to almost 350 Switch games, I think, last time I checked. Just love the console, man. It has a great library. And the awesome thing about my Switch collection is I would say 98% of the games that I have are games that I actually really enjoy playing. I consider them to be really good games.
You got a fever, and the only prescription is more Switch games.
Yeah, man, exactly.
So at what point did you slow down? Like what made you, what were you finding, like some of the games that were coming out weren't as much to your liking, or there's just too many to keep up with? What really was it that kind of slowed it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a combination of a bunch of different things. There are way too damn many to keep up with, dude. Like every time I turn around, I see a new game releasing that I want to buy, and I was like, I can't maintain this. I don't make enough money to keep buying all these Switch games. So I was like, I gotta chill. And plus, some of my priorities shifted a little bit. Like I said, I'm trying to start a business. I'm putting a lot of I'm putting money into that. I'm putting time into that. So I had to kind of chill out on buying games to focus more on that.
Absolutely. That's everybody's issue, There's never enough money to keep up.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I wish I could hit the fucking lottery.
Right. And is this like in your basement? You get a lot of square footage in this room, whatever this room is.
Actually, man, that's a camera trick. This room is not as big as it looks on camera, trust me. Yeah, like I usually use a wide angle lens on the camera, so it makes it look bigger. But this room is, if I had to guess, I would say maybe 10 foot by 12 foot, something like that. So yeah, it's not anywhere near as big as it looks. And it's not in a basement. I wish I had a basement, man, but I live in a double wide. I don't live in a fancy place or anything. Maybe one day.
There you go. It's all about you're using your height well. You're using your height of the walls in the rooms, for the shelving.
Yeah, man. Wall control shelves, dude. Wall control shelves. That's what I use for like what you see in the video there, where the PS4 games are.
Yeah.
Those are panels from Wall Control. Love that company, man. Great product.
Is that the one that oh God, what's the guy's name? The guy's channel, Game Dave? Is that what Game Dave has?
Yeah. He's actually the one that inspired me to start using Wall Control. I saw his video on it. I was, holy shit, that is awesome.
Hey, my memory's pretty good that I remember the wall shelving. Yeah, because I remember him talking about that when he because he bought a new house, and then he started his game room from scratch, and he was talking about that. Yeah. And I know that there's not tons of companies that do stuff like that, shelving specifically for gamers.
Yeah. No, you're right, man.
I remember that one that he was talking about.
Yeah, and shout out to Game Dave too. I met him in person and got to hang out with him for a little while in 2019. Just a really nice guy, and he's fucking hilarious, dude. Such a funny guy.
He should straight up be like an actor. Like, I know he's like a teacher, he should be like I've never seen somebody in the retro community that's got that kind of acting, because he's just very like he must have had like some kind of theater training or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't know if you know this or not, but he actually was a character in the Game Chasers movie, so you'll see him acting when you watch that movie. And I actually saw him in action in a couple of the scenes whenever I was on the set helping with the movie. And dude, yeah, he can act. He can legit act, man.
Now you had Billy of the Game Chasers on not once but twice. We had Tim at one point, Jay's brother.
Yeah, yeah.
What ended up having you reach out to Billy talk about the movie? How'd that happen?
So I backed the Kickstarter. I backed one of the higher tiers on the Kickstarter, which allowed me to hang out on the set of the movie and be an extra. I was only supposed to be there for 1 or 2 days, but I ended up being there for 4 days, and I helped out with the movie and hung out with everybody. And so I got to know Billy pretty good, and some of the other guys from the Game Chasers crew, and some of the other YouTubers that were in the movie. And so yeah, I'm just trying to support the movie as much as I can because I believe in Billy's vision. And based on what I saw filmed in the 4 days I was on set, I can tell you without a doubt that this movie is going to be something special.
Nice. And as far as what you know from an insider perspective, what still needs to be done? Is he still doing a lot of editing?
Yeah, I think he's putting the finishing touches on it. The last Kickstarter update that I saw, he said that the movie will be released before the end of this year. He seems very, very, very confident in that. So I think what he's shooting for is like an October release or maybe a November release. So it won't be too much longer, and I am really, really pumped for it because it's gonna be awesome, man.
Are you nearing a full NES collection there?
No, dude, no, not even close. As a matter of fact, I actually sold a shitload of games from my NES collection recently and scaled it back.
Oh.
So yeah, my NES collection has dropped quite a bit.
But how did you reduce it? Did you get rid of like a lot of your fillers, or like a lot of your uncommon higher price games? How did you break it down?
Yeah, so it was kind of part of a really fun and funny video I did where I did like a fake intervention. I acted like I was super addicted to collecting video games, which there's some truth to that. And I kind of turned it into a fake intervention video. But there was a point to the video, and the point to the video was I decided to change how I collect games. And so going forward, I'm only going to, except for the GameCube, I'm not touching the GameCube collection, but going forward, I'm only going to collect games that I would actually play and not games that I don't care about or would never play. So because of that, I went through my entire game collection, NES included, and I identified any game that I just don't care about, that I would never play. So it'd be like, like realistic sports games. I don't really like realistic sports games that much. I'm more of an arcade sports kind of guy. So any realistic sports games were gone. Games that I just don't like, I got rid of. Games that just don't interest me. So, that sort of thing. And I trimmed my collection down quite a bit. So I'm trying to be a little bit more focused as a collector instead of just collecting anything and everything.
And where did the profits from that go? Back into the collection or like into your savings? Or
Yeah, they went into savings because I'm trying to put some money back for different things.
There you go. Diversify.
Yeah, man.
Just don't get into toys.
Right, yeah. Thankfully I haven't.
Problem I had, I segued from games to toys.
Yeah. That's toys, that's tough, man, because they take up a lot of space.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And even when I stayed away from the vehicles, like just getting the figures, and I'm getting all the Ninja Turtles, the 80s, 90s stuff, the He-Man, Real Ghostbusters, all that. Even when it's just the figures, they do take up a lot of space.
Yeah, they really do, man. And I might get into that one day if I ever get a bigger place and have more, disposable income. I might get into some of that because I'd like to collect some of the stuff I had when I was a kid, like Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles and all that cool shit.
And you even got your little like deluxe cleaning area here. You get all the tools to open the carts. When you get a cart, are you opening that up? Are you brassoing or rubbing alcohol the pins, getting the corrosion off or whatever you call it, the buildup?
Yeah. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it depends on the game, like how expensive or rare the game is. It depends on, what the kind of exterior condition of the cartridge is. If it's really dirty on the outside, usually I'll open it up and check out the circuit board and make sure everything's clean. But I always clean the contacts. And
Yeah,
one thing I always tell people is to make sure you clean the contacts before you put it in a console, for sure.
Because you're gonna dirty up the console pins if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was always my first thing, getting them kind of shiny, getting the brass on the contacts kind of shiny, because more than anything, then anytime you put that game in again, it's gonna fire up every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually asked John Riggs a few days ago because I met him for the first time at Southeast Game Exchange, and I asked him, what's the best way to clean a cartridge? Because he's an expert when it comes to that stuff. And his answer was the 1-Up card, and I've actually never used a 1-Up card, so I think I'm going to check that out.
Right. Now, do you think every time he says that, the 1-Up card, though, he gets $5? Or
I mean, you never know.
So, yeah, he likes to do the open card surgery. I know that's one of his things.
Yeah.
Where the cards going, that, DOA cards to get some back to life again.
Yeah. So if that man tells me 1-Up card is the way to go, I'm definitely going to listen to him because he knows his shit.
There you go. Another way, it's a little thing I would do. Like, so say, like a Sega Genesis, right? I would, because I was picking them up on the cheap. You can get a Sega Genesis console like $10 sometimes if you're lucky.
Oh yeah.
So, and even the Model 1s. So when I would get like a Model 1, I would kind of layer up the pins on a loose cart with some like 90% rubbing alcohol, and then if you just put the game in, just pop it in, keep taking it in and out.
Yeah,
that'll a lot of times take some grime off the console pins.
Yeah, I've brought consoles nearly back to life doing that before. Whenever I just can't get it to work, and it works pretty well. I think actually I did that recently with an Atari Jaguar that I got in a game lot. It just would not work. And I took a cartridge, put some alcohol on the contacts, popped it in and out several times, and let it dry, and it worked after that.
It's funny too. If I have the official Super Nintendo one that like cleans the console pins,
Yeah.
And basically it's like a cart. You probably have it too. It's like a cart, and instead of the board and pins, it's essentially like a sandpaper type of material, like a white kind of like cardboard, and not cardboard, but you know what I mean, like kind of sandpaper type of material, so that when you put this cart cleaner in, it's like scraping off any kind of buildup on the Super Nintendo console pins, and you push the cart down, hit eject, push the cart down, hit eject, and doing that like 10 times, cleans up the pins on that.
Yeah, I actually used one of those today for a Nintendo 64. Same concept, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at your consoles, they're real clean here. They're not yellowed. I could tell you're we talked to so many fucking guests in here. Like, I think you're like our 54th.
Yeah.
54th guest we've interviewed. So I always hit them with the questions. How much is condition a factor? And I could tell you're a condition guy because there's no yellowing on your consoles, because we see a little bit of everything. We see some people that just, it's just whatever they can find, and they'll have like yellowed consoles and stuff. All your stuff's looking real crispy here.
Yeah, man. When it comes to consoles and games, I try to only put stuff in my collection that's in at least a presentable condition. And if it's not, I'll try to flip it. Just, because I just don't want shitty looking games and consoles in my game room. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You don't want ripped labels.
Oh yeah, no, dude. That's one of my pet peeves, dude. I will not put a game in my collection if the label's fucked up. I just will not do it. I can't stand that.
Yeah. I like to call myself a condition whore too.
There you go. That's one way to put it.
And because it's just like, I like to use the rule like on a scale like 1 to 10. I like to get stuff that's like an 8 and up.
Yeah.
So if you start to be like crazy with it, like everything's mint, then it kind of takes the fun out of it, because it's so hard to find stuff in that good a condition. But if you go an 8 and above, I like to use that as my tier, because then I'd say that's like very good condition and up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say I'm about the same when it comes to that.
Right. And you can do a lot. I mean, when it comes to like, disc-based games, you can do a lot to like I'll take like a GameStop game that's just fucking littered with stickers, right? From their bullshit practice of just layering sticker upon sticker upon. It's like you can trace the whole history like a fucking dinosaur bone, right? Like across
Right.
wherever that game's been. It was like at a Value Village, then it was at a GameStop, then it was at a and you'll get a game like that, but you can do a lot with some Lysol wipes and some Goo Gone to making that thing look mint again.
Dude, let me tell you what I dealt with today, man. So I bought a game lot a couple of days ago, and it was a great deal. I mean, I got everything for less than $5 per item. There were 189 items in the lot, but the games and the consoles were a little nasty. They had a little bit of an odor to them. So today I've just been cleaning the hell out of these games with alcohol wipes, and I opened up one of the Nintendo 64s to completely disassemble it and clean it inside and out. And if anybody watching has a weak stomach and you're eating right now, you might want to maybe pause or mute for the next, let's say, 15 seconds. So I opened the console up and it had a bunch of dead cockroaches in it. And it was fucking disgusting. Now I cleaned it. I got them all out. I cleaned it up, put it back together, and it worked fine. But man, I did not enjoy that.
The worst I've seen is in Florida here we get sugar ants.
Oh yeah, like, what are those?
Teeny tiny ants that just get in everything.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing you can do because they're so small. Mm-hmm. They get in the tiniest crack. They're even smaller than like a normal black ant or whatever. And they're rampant. I don't know if you get any of those there wherever you're at. You get sugar ants at all?
No, man, I don't think so. Yeah, I've never heard of sugar ants. Now we have plenty of fire ants where I live, but yeah, no sugar ants.
We get those too. Now I know you're gonna be talking about some Wii games, and that's something that recently I've been getting more into. Wii, like a lot of people will say, the Wii, it has so much shovelware, but there's so many fun light gun games on it. Like House of the Dead 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. There's some really good Resident Evil games that you can do the light guns with. There's so many fun like family type of games you can play. What are some so let's go through some of the ones you have in this video.
Yeah.
Just to kind of follow along here. So tell us about some of these lesser known titles
that you enjoy. Sure, man. Yeah. So let's see. If I had to pick one game from this video that I would recommend to people to check out, it would be the last game I talked about in the video, which is called Mushroom Men: The Spore Wars. And when you hear that title, it just sounds weird, man. And if you see it on if you were to walk in a store and see it on a shelf, you would probably just completely pass it by and think it's garbage. But the game is really, really cool, man. It's like if I had to describe it, I would describe it as a third-person action adventure game with some platforming. And you play as this little mushroom. Basically, a meteor crashes on Earth and it releases this spore that turns certain plants and animals. It gives them like more sentience, and where they can talk to each other and stuff like that. And so you play as this little mushroom, and you have to go on a journey to stop this other mushroom in another tribe. He has some kind of plan to take over the world or some shit like that. It's a weird story, but the game is so much fun, dude. It's really dark. It has some amazing music. Actually, Les Claypool, I don't know if you're familiar with the bass player Les Claypool. He actually did the music for that game. But it's just a really cool game, man. It's a lot of fun, and I never hear anybody talk about it at all. And it has almost kind of a Toy Story vibe to it, because you're this tiny little mushroom, and you're navigating all these large environments, like these large indoor environments. So everything is just huge. So it kind of reminds me of Toy Story, how you see things from the perspective of these little toys, But yeah, it's an awesome game, man, and I definitely recommend people check it out.
When you play Wii games, do you play them on the Wii U for the upscaling?
Yeah, I do. I actually don't have a Wii in my collection now that I think about it, just because I use the Wii U, so I didn't really see any point in having an OG Wii. Although I would like to have the original model that you could play the GameCube games on too. So I might grab one day.
Yeah, same here. It's kind of like a little bit weird, like navigating between. You kind of got to jump on the menus and then switch the remotes
Mhm.
because you got to go to the nunchucks and then back to the regular stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
that
other
that part is a little annoying.
now, tell me about like where are you at in the Wii collection? Like, how many games are you at?
Let's see. Let me check my collector app real quick. Let's see. One second. I am up to 113 games in the collection, but I'm gonna be trimming some, so it's definitely gonna drop in the near future. But it's fun to collect for, man. There's a lot of hidden gems on the Wii, a lot of games that people don't talk about, which is why I made this video. And this is actually the first video I've ever made on the channel that has to do with the Wii.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen that? You notice the prices have been going up
Yeah, for sure, man. And I expect that to continue.
for sure. And how about the Wii U? How's your collection on that? And
It's
weird because it's kind of redundant, right? It's redundant with the Switch because so many games got ported.
Yeah. My Wii U collection is not that big. I have 44 games on the Wii U. I mean, I pretty much got all the Wii U games that I would want. There's a
Yeah.
few more that I don't have, that are pretty rare, but I don't know. Maybe I'll run across those one day.
And I know you have a lot of GameCube. When did you dive into that? Because those have just exploded. They're just ridiculous now.
Oh, dude, I don't just have a lot of GameCube. I have every single North American Black Label
Oh
game
wow.
on the
What's
GameCube.
what's the total North American releases? Like
The
400 something?
It's I can't remember the exact number. It's either 552 or 553. Now I'm talking just unique individual games.
Yeah.
There of course are variants, and there's certain games that you couldn't get at retail because they were pre-order bonuses and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like 552 or 553, something like that.
You know where my head goes when we're talking about specific consoles though? And I don't know if you think like this too. My head goes to like I want to focus on exclusives because say the GameCube, right? So much of that shit it ended up on OG Xbox. It
Hmm.
ended up on PS2, right?
Oh yeah.
So my head is like I don't want to get the GameCube version and pay more if I could just get it on whatever. If I can just get it on like OG Xbox or something. So my head just goes to like one I really want because you can only get it on the GameCube is like that Wario's World.
Yeah,
Is that
Wario World.
Wario World?
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to get that one. That one looks amazing. And that's where my head goes, like the way I think. So like I don't know that I could ever be, and I respect that you have the full North American collection. But like my head always goes to like when I think of these older consoles, I'm like let me just get what only came out on that system, and then because other games I can focus on, just let me get it where it's cheapest, right? Is it cheapest on OG Xbox? Is it cheapest on PS2?
Mhm.
So that's like kind of where the way my mind works. And the reason I'm saying that is, how many would you say? Because you must know that you know that console well. How many would you say are exclusive only to GameCube? How many
Uh,
games would be?
there's actually quite a few, dude. I mean, I don't know the number, but there's more than you would think.
Right.
There's quite a few exclusive. I know GameCube Galaxy's in the chat. He might know the number of exclusives, but there's a lot. A lot. I would say maybe a tenth of the library or maybe even more than that are exclusive.
Right. And the easiest way would be to start with just um exclu- you know picking out each Nintendo only property. That would be the easiest way. But then I'm sure there's going to be other games that they got licensed just to GameCube and not on other systems. There's going to be things like that too, not just Nintendo only properties.
Yeah, for sure.
I always like going back, because I see this game Mushroom Men here. We're back to the Wii now, kind of jumping in between these two consoles. But for me, I always love platformers. I love exploring, because you're not stuck just doing tasks, right? You can kind of explore. You can kind of go at your own pace. You go left when maybe they want you to go right, and just do more exploring. Versus a game that's kind of holding your hand, telling you where to go, telling you what to do.
Yeah, dude. I've always been a fan of 3D platformers. Mainly the older 3D platformers, because 3D platformers is kind of a dead genre now. There's really not that many of them anymore, and that's a shame.
Off, dude. That pisses me off, Matt. This game kind of runs like a Rayman,
Yeah, man. It's seriously, it's a great game, man, and it's really not that expensive either. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but it hasn't gone up yet. I think it will eventually, though.
Yeah. What does it go for now? Like 10, 15?
I'm not sure. Let me pull it up on price charting real quick. Actually, I can just look at it in my app here. Let's see. I know it's not that much.
Have you ever played The Conduit 2? I know, just a random game I'm jumping to here, but also on the Wii. It's like a first-person shooter.
No, but I have it, and I've heard good things, so I definitely need to check that out. And Mushroom Men is it looks like it's around $10 complete, which is
nice.
That's a freaking great price, man.
It looks really fun. Yeah, so The Conduit, for people listening, it was kind of like they wanted to have kind of like a flagship, it didn't really take off in popularity or anything, but they wanted like a really good first-person shooter on the Wii, because it kind of lacked, right? You got all those ports of like Call of Duties or whatever, but they were kind of an afterthought. And they kind of made that was like a really good showcase for a really good first-person shooter on the Wii, which, as a lot of people think of like more of a kid's system or whatever, a family system. I think The Conduit 1 and 2, really good first-person shooters, and I've been trying to pick up the second one. It's a little expensive. I think kind of in like the $40, $50 range.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I'll tell you another amazing first-person shooter game on the Wii, and that's Red Steel 2. That game is fucking awesome.
And what do you do in that game? It's just like a straightforward first-person shooter.
No, it's not straightforward. It's it's a combination of a first-person shooter and a sword fighting game.
Okay.
And it uses the Wii Motion Plus. And dude, that game is legit, man. The sword fighting in that game is so much fun. You can pull off so many badass moves. You do use guns. So like it's kind of like you could go all sword fighting, or you could do a combination of that and using some guns, but it's not really level based. It has kind of sort of an open world to a degree, although some paths are closed off until you kind of progress through the game. But yeah, dude, it's an awesome game, and it's another game I kind of don't hear very many people talk about.
So GameCube Galaxy chimed in here in the chat. 81 exclusives for the GameCube worldwide. Okay, very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to explore that and kind of pick and choose from that.
Yeah.
Because along with a condition whore, like I was telling you, I consider myself, I'm also a little bit of a graphics whore. So I tend to go, I'm the one looking at those videos, kind of nerding out, being like, okay, which port got the best resolution? Mm-hmm. And you know what? A lot of times it's on the Xbox. And that goes back to the OG one. A lot of times, whatever, I don't know if it's and now I'm not going to know exactly the details, whether it's the resolution or the frames per second or whatever. But a lot of times seems like they say the Xbox is running it at a better something. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it usually, maybe, frame rate or resolution, or what is it that the Xbox sometimes runs better at?
We talking OG Xbox?
Well, yeah, or even the new one. Like, how so when we're talking like PlayStation 4, Xbox One, they'll be like, the Xbox One X runs it at the best,
Yeah.
So I watch videos like that, and that decides what port I get sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of Microsoft's thing. I mean, I think they try to put out the most powerful console every generation, so that they can stand out from the competition. And that seems to always be the case. I mean, seems like every generation Microsoft does have the most powerful console, so typically the games are going to run the best and are going to look the best, but it's only a marginal difference from PlayStation. So like, you know, if you compare the Xbox One X to the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's really not that much of a difference. You might be able to notice it, but you're not going to notice it that much. You might notice it on a 4K TV if you're playing a game that supports 4K, but other than that, I don't think you're going to notice it that much.
And when I see that there's a bigger discrepancy is when they talk the Switch port versus like the Xbox One X or the PlayStation 4 Pro, because they say like it's like, oh, the Switch only runs the game at 30 frames per second, but can I even really see that with my eyes? Sometimes I'll watch the side by sides, and you can only tell slightly that it's sharper or whatever on the Xbox. Yeah, and then you could argue it's like, oh, well, you have some people are going for just like what's portable. I want to play it portable. I don't care if it's only 30 frames per second, right? But then you got the nerds like me. Just give me the best resolution. Just give me the best picture because I want it on a big fucking 65-inch.
Yeah, right.
So it's all what the buyer is, right? What the gamer is, what the gamer wants.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, everybody has different preferences and everybody, you know, likes different things, and that's fine. Me personally, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love a pretty game. You know what I mean? I love loading up a game on my Xbox Series X, Series X or my PS5 on my 4K monitor in my room and just being blown away by the graphics. But for me, at the end of the day, graphics and frame rate isn't the most important thing for me. For me, at the end of the day, it's how fun is the game.
Right, there you go. Is it fun? Now this is an interesting. What is this device called that you're snapping on the Switch screen onto a fucking controller here?
Dude, that is one of the coolest Switch accessories I've ever used. It's called the Fixture S1. And basically you snap it on your Pro controller and then you slide your Switch tablet into it, and it allows you to play games portably with the Pro controller in handheld mode. And it's awesome, dude. Such a great product. Love it.
And does it feel heavy though? All that shit in your hands?
No, it's actually not that bad because you can adjust the screen angle pretty much anywhere you want. So if the weight distribution doesn't feel quite right to you, you can just kind of move the screen around until everything's nice and balanced and feels good. Like I didn't find myself getting tired or anything like that. I mean, I could see maybe some people running into that issue, but it didn't affect me.
Knowing me, I'd probably be sitting on my couch, pass out, and drop both onto the ground.
Well, it's pretty
like
sturdy.
One of those things because you're sitting back somewhere, and you got both in your hand.
Yeah. It's a good product though. It's very sturdy. I mean, you saw me shaking it just now, and nothing was coming loose, so it was very well designed.
Well, yeah, Wood is of beat 'em ups is kind of the king of these fucking accessory movies. He has like 20 of those things.
Yeah,
I think. Is he gone over every accessory ever made from Etsy?
Yeah, it seems like it.
And usually he focuses on the ones that are more just crap or funny.
Just
odd, like oddware for the Switch.
Yeah,
but it looks like you're focusing on more actual usable shit.
Yeah, like I very rarely do accessory videos. I only do an accessory video if it's an accessory that I truly think is a great product. And they didn't reach out to me or anything. I saw it one day. I saw somebody talk about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check that out. And I bought it, and I fell in love with it. I was like, I gotta make a video on this.
Let me ask you this for accessories, because when I'm playing like you can only play Super Mario Party with the Joy-Cons, right?
Yeah.
Because of like the motion shit on there. But I would almost like, and I'm not even sure this can be done, I kind of like the bigger size of the nunchucks. I wish they almost had like an old school Wii type of more Wii type of bigger controller that you could use with, instead of the little the Joy-Cons. Sometimes I feel like I'm like Andre the Giant holding those, like, because they feel so dinky.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever feel that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, not really. I mean, I've always liked the Joy-Cons. I know some people don't like them, and that's fine. They're not for everybody.
I don't hate them; they just feel small.
Yeah, they do feel small. They do feel small. I mean, there's things you can do to make them feel a little bit bigger. Um, that's what she said.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
I
I
was
mean,
waiting for that.
yeah, right.
And as far as like, do you have like any other accessories that come to mind that you really like besides this? We might even be getting to one later in this video, but
Yeah,
anything that sticks out?
yeah, the Satisfy grip would be one that I would recommend. It's just a grip you insert your Switch into, Joy-Cons and all, and it makes playing the Switch in handheld mode way more comfortable.
You know when you're playing like Splatoon 2 and it's got that motion in the Switch Pro,
Yeah.
like lift it and it's got that I don't know if I really like that. Do you like that?
You
I
know,
almost feel like turning that off.
yeah, so generally I turn that off. Most games I don't really like it, but for some reason in Splatoon 2, when I was playing the single player campaign in Splatoon 2, I turned the motion controls on and I got adjusted to them pretty quickly and I actually used them all throughout the campaign. But that's literally, it's funny you mention that because that's literally the only Nintendo Switch game that I've ever used motion aiming on.
Yeah.
And that,
And some of the stuff in that game, like it was fucking with me. Like, you're like popping some of those balloons or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
and like I said, I'm not the most I can only give you certain details. My memory is not the best with every single game I play. But yeah, like it kind of threw me because it's like sometimes it almost gets in the way a little bit. Like that it's almost like a seasickness kind of thing, when you got too much motion stuff going on and like you're like you're trying to toggle the joystick one way, but then the motion of the moving the controller is going another way, and then you feel like you're like juggling or something.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. It definitely takes getting used to. And real quick, I got to shout out Pac-Man Case in the chat. I met him at Southeast Game Exchange last week and got to hang out with him quite a bit. And I actually met him while I was standing in the urinal taking a piss. He was in the urinal next to me. I had no idea it was him, and he was fucking with me, dude. Like saying all this crazy stuff while I was using the bathroom. And then when I went to wash my hands, I turned around and I was like, "Oh shit, that's Pac-Man Case." It was pretty funny, man. It was a funny way to meet somebody.
Yeah, Andy is great. We had Andy on the show. So happy we got to have him on. Such a funny guy.
Oh, dude, he's
Seattle,
awesome.
I'm jealous of his game stomping grounds in Seattle.
Yeah,
What
right.
in the Metal Jesus video the other day? Fucking 13 video game stores they got out there in Seattle.
Wow, that's a
Come
lot.
on, who's not jealous of that? 13 game stores.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
That might be the most game stores in any state.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a bit, quite a bit.
Yeah, but he's always been really cool to our channel, giving us shout outs. So we're always all about supporting him too.
Oh
Great
yeah,
guy.
Andy's the man, man.
Who else did you really hit it off with at the convention?
Oh, dude, so many people, man. Like I hung out with Robert and Wes. I probably hung out with Robert and Wes from Gaming Off the Grid the most. But I hung out with Tom and Lacey from Do You Nerd, Megadan29, J Love 81, John Riggs. I mean, the list goes on and on. So many amazing people I got to meet, including Cup of Nintendo in the chat. Eric from Cup of Nintendo, got to meet him and his brother Jared, and they're super nice guys. I'm actually going to be meeting up with them in a couple of weeks and doing a tour of Jared's game room and doing an interview of them. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And who did your wolf animation there? That's fucking badass. Who made that for you?
Oh yeah, so Yoshi Vu did. He does CG VFX for Hollywood movies and stuff. I met him at the Game Chasers movie, and I hired him to do that intro for me. Super nice guy. He did a killer job, dude. Killer
He
job.
worked on the Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah, he worked on some of those. He worked on Walking Dead. He's got quite the resume. I don't think he's doing VFX right now though, besides for the Game Chasers movie, but I could be wrong about that.
Do you mind if I ask like an estimate of what something like that would cost from somebody like him? Like what does that cost to have like something made like that for an intro? You don't have to give me the exact number. Just
Yeah. No, I can't. Yeah, I can't tell you what I paid for
No,
it,
you're not.
but
Yeah, exactly.
but generally something like that is probably for even that short of an intro video for what he does, you're probably looking at well over $1,000.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
not
would think
cheap.
so because there's such an in-demand person that I
Oh
would
yeah,
think it have to cost like that much.
yeah, and he's good, man. He knows his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like something like that. Like you can't really teach yourself that. You gotta have the what do you call it? You gotta have the experience level to know
Yeah,
how to do that.
yeah. It's a very technical skill. Very technical skill. Like
Like you're not gonna see us like watch a tutorial of like that VFX program or whatever it's called, and just hit one of those out of the park like that.
oh
Like
no, dude, no. I mean
yeah,
that takes like years of practice and going to school. And I mean you have to already be an artist to be able to do that. You have to already have some skill in art. Which he's actually a really good artist too, just even outside of VFX.
so I would think how that works is you kind of like got to build a throw in the design, and then kind of just add the details in. I mean, that
Yeah,
would be yes. I don't know really how it works, but like you'd have to kind of like almost like you're building a video game, right? So you're doing a 3D modeling, and then you're filling in all the details, and then
yeah, that sounds about right.
be very time consuming.
Oh, for sure, dude. I mean, it took him a while to do that intro for me, but he was doing it in his spare time because he was a busy dude. So, like I told him to take his time on it and just get it done whenever he can. But man, when I saw the finished product, I was fucking blown away, man. Like
Yeah,
just
that's what I
blown
was
away.
thinking when I just seen it there. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, and that's probably gonna be my video intro for the rest of the time of my channel. To be honest with
Yeah,
you.
get mileage out of that
Oh yeah, for sure, dude, for
for
sure.
the price tag. Get your good mileage out of that. Now
Yeah.
we're going through some classics here. Some Super Mario 2, Link to the Past. Are these games that were as relevant like growing up, or was it like you found them later in life? How good they were?
Yeah, so this is just I just wanted to do a video about just unboxing retro video games in 2021 and just
Yeah,
trying to relive the memories of opening up
right.
game boxes from that era and the experience of it and all the cool stuff that was in the box. And because you don't get that experience anymore with games. So I just wanted to kind of relive that. And anybody that's never experienced, I was hoping maybe they could watch the video and kind of see what it's like to open these kind
You
of
don't
games.
get
And I talked
shit
about,
anymore, man. You don't get shit. Open a game now.
yeah, for real, man.
Plastic. You
In
got a
most cases,
thin
yeah,
plastic clam.
yeah, it's
Got
ridiculous.
the art sleeve, and you got the disc.
Hmm.
You got no manual, no poster inside, no even advertisement of what other games are out. You get nothing.
Yep.
It's like we're pro recycling right now or something. You don't even get you get like look at some of those Wii U games, right? They cut out like half the circle around the disc just for less plastic use, right?
Yeah. Right.
You get half of a clam now.
Hmm.
You don't even get the whole clam.
Yeah, I miss the good old days of gaming, man. I really do. I miss being able to just put a game in a console, turn it on, and start playing. You know what I mean?
Which is hilarious too, because you look at the Switch case, they're all about fucking like recycle.
Mhm.
But you got a 1 inch, what, like a 2 inch SD card
Yeah,
and a massive clam for the Switch. I mean, how much wasted plastic is that? I mean, it looks good
yeah.
so that it's a bigger case on your shelf, but I mean, they want to be all about recycle. That's not really the Switch cases go against what they're trying to do.
Let's be honest, dude. A lot of these companies don't give a shit about
Yeah.
recycling. They just try to act like they do, because it makes them look better.
And by the way, it makes it feel like the flimsiest case when they did that with like the Wii U stuff
Yeah.
and even the later Wii games when they cut out
Hmm.
half that circle behind somebody listening is probably like, who gives a shit what they do with the clam? Yeah, well, when it feels like a piece of crap, like when you pick up the game and it feels like you're gonna snap the disc through when you're holding it, that's too cheap of a case, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, and it makes it more likely to be damaged or break and stuff like that, which is never
And
good.
in the mail, when you're getting it online, like through eBay or something,
Hmm.
and they're shipping that, and it's gonna fucking snap through the case because there's no durability to it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Just look at all this stuff you would get.
I know it's amazing, dude. It's amazing. I really miss it, man.
Do you have any
And
of those cool promotional VHS tapes that came with some of these rare ones?
yeah,
Not
actually,
rare, not rare as in uncommon, but rare. The developer made a lot of those VHS tapes.
yeah, I have one for DD Kong Racing, actually.
I always wanted to get some of those.
Yeah, they're cool, man. They're really cool. And they're actually pretty hard to find too. You don't run across them very often.
I know, and I'd love to get. See, I'm definitely a rare fanboy. Like I'd love to get the Donkey Kong Super Nintendo box
Oh yeah.
with the pack in, the N64 box. Anything Donkey Kong, I'm kind of crazy about, and all those promotional videos. They're so cool,
Oh yeah, they really are.
dude. They were just so under. You didn't just get a great platformer with Rare in the '90s. You
Mhm.
got like an amazing soundtrack.
Oh,
Like you
dude, Rare,
that shit in your
yeah,
car. It
yeah,
sounds
Rare was one of the best, dude. Like they've really, I don't know what happened to Rare, man, but they're not the company they used to be.
Ninja Gaiden classic NES game. I mean, loose, still affordable. What 10,
Yeah,
15 for the first Ninja Gaiden?
yeah, that sounds about right.
Right,
Sadly,
right there with like Batman is like a
yeah,
cheap NES game to get.
yeah, and sadly, I just sold that copy you're seeing right there, that CIB copy. I just sold it the other day, so unfortunately, I no longer have it, and it makes me sad. But I needed the money, so you got to do what you got to do.
The cover art, man, on those. One,
Oh,
two,
dude,
and I
yeah,
love cover art.
so badass, dude, so badass.
Just like the cover art, like on the six Mega Mans, so good. Even though they look good, like one is goofy,
Yeah,
is good. Like it doesn't even look like the game.
yeah,
Still, I
right.
love the way they look.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, game cover art back then was amazing, and game cover art nowadays, in most cases, is just generic. There's nothing special about it. So that's another thing about the good old days of gaming that I miss. That makes me sound old, but you know what? It's true.
I'm so happy that I made it a point to get like most of the first 50 Nintendo Powers just for things like just when you folded out that poster there, just for shit
Mhm.
like that, just the way that they would advertise, even though it was like, let's face it, like Nintendo propaganda in
Yeah.
like a magazine, right? It's just like it's just like it's so corporate, right? It's just all Nintendo ads all over the magazine. That's it. It's just like,
Mhm.
but it was amazing because the art on a lot of those ads as you flip through the Nintendo Powers, and I focus on the first 50 just because that's like the run from NES up through the early period of Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Love the games then. I just love the ads then. Something about those, that's such a walk down memory lane. You ever flip through like a Sears catalog from like 1990 or 91 or 92? That's such a nostalgia trip.
Oh, dude, I love flipping through old game magazines, old comics, old
Yeah,
catalogs, and seeing, like the ads for games and stuff like that. Dude, it brings back so many memories. And that's another thing I miss, man. I miss the days of video game magazines because, nowadays all this information is right at your fingertips, which is great. Don't get me wrong, but there was something special about being a kid and waiting on that magazine to come in the mail every month and being so damn excited. And then you get it and you read it from front to back. And that was the only way that you could get news about video games. And it just made everything more special and more meaningful. Whereas now, you're just bombarded with gaming news all the time, and it just doesn't
yeah.
feel as special anymore, if that makes sense.
And even if you have a great game come out, like you'll watch a couple reviews,
Mhm.
and then you're like your anticipation or whatever your excitement about it is like kind of chopped in half, right? Because like you'll have one or two of the reviews just kind of shit on the game, whether
Yeah.
it's great or not. like, you know, unless it's like some masterpiece, right? So, and what I mean by that is like when you just had the magazine, you had all that anticipation in your mind what it's going to be like because all you had was the screenshots, right?
Mhm.
So you had to kind of get it and make up your own idea how you felt about it. Whereas like now it's like we have so many channels telling us what to think about it, so to speak. Whether we listen to it or not, it shapes how we're gonna feel when we play it.
Yeah, totally agree, man. You're 100% on point.
Now, like you know, some of these Star Wars games on N64, regardless of if they look blocky now, were some of the first times you got to fly some of the ships.
Yeah, man,
Star
for
Wars game.
sure. Yeah, and that game right there, dude. I love Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire. I hear some people talk shit about it, but I don't care, dude. That's a fantastic Star Wars game.
I still love the episode 1 racing. What's that one? The
Episode 1 Racer.
I still love that.
Yeah,
The,
yeah. Have you played the remaster of it?
yeah, the sense of speed in that game
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good game. I just played it recently for a video. Played the remaster and the original. I was having a lot of fun with it.
Pod Racer, right? That's
Yep.
what it's called. Pod Racer.
Yep, Pod Racer. Great game, man.
Now, is this one of your methods of choice? How you like to play with this? You get the good old classic TV VCR combo going here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I love playing games on the CRT. Now, the funny thing about what you're seeing right now, we actually superimposed that
Yeah, I
in
thought so.
editing. Yeah, so that because obviously a CRT TV is not going to look that crisp. So we just did that just to up the production values on the videos. But I do love playing games on an OG CRT, man. There's just something I don't know. There's something special about it. Maybe it's just nostalgia, but I love it.
I'm still looking for the perfect CRT with like the ridiculous knobs on them. You know, like
Yeah,
the mid '80s before they went to like the digital like display push button stuff.
Mhm.
Like you got because it just looks so much more retro, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. In my opinion, dude, some of the best CRTs you can get if you can find them are PVMs.
Right. The sound like the Trinitron PVMs.
Yeah, dude, the picture on though, it almost looks HD.
Yeah.
Even though it's not HD, it almost looks HD. It's ridiculous how good it looks.
You know, a company, and I don't see as many people seeking these out, but a company I always liked the way they designed shit was Zenith. The
Oh
'80s,
yeah,
like I think they call it Space Command, the Zenith Space Command shit.
yeah,
I love the way that they would box with the wood grain, and I don't know, something about it. Like you laugh, like, but it seemed futuristic the way they like some out of a sci-fi movie or something. The way they would design some of those '80s CRTs. But I always had a soft spot for that brand. Whereas I know everybody's like hot on Trinitron and they're
Mhm.
great. I have like a 27-inch, like one of the '90s black ones, but I always like the Zenith, the styling, the way they made the CRTs.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty cool, man. And I've seen a lot of those because my dad used to fix CRTs back in the day. So I've seen a lot of CRTs in my life.
Even down to the remotes, it's cool, you
Hmm.
know. And you know what it is too. A lot of people talk about, they love playing on a CRT, but let's get specific. Why? Because of the fucking 4x3. I hate the black
Hmm.
sides when you're on a an LCD, right?
Yeah,
The stupid fucking black. I like that's why it's so much better on a CRT because you don't have that. You just get the full box picture in a 4x3, right?
yeah,
Because when
yeah, no doubt.
by 9 LCD, you see the stupid bars on the side. I hate the bar. My eyes always go to the bars on the side. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's OCD, but it bothers me, you know?
I get it, man. It's an eyesore.
Yeah, because it's like wasted screen.
Hmm.
Like I don't want wasted screen. If you put it on the CRT, it fills up the whole screen, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And Star Fox here. I can remember the first time. Do you remember? Do you have any? Like I remember going to a friend's house. They had Star Fox. It looked like arcade graphics at home.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, my memories with Star Fox actually started with Star Fox 64. I completely missed out on Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. So Star Fox 64 was my first Star Fox experience, and man, that's a great game.
I always laugh at what a bitch Slippy is.
Yeah, for real.
Like, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, man,
I always
he's
kind of want. They're
annoying.
like they want you to like save Slippy. I always want him to kind of die. I'm like, he's like
Yeah,
a little bitch. Oh
yeah,
no, when he's getting shot.
yeah, yeah. He's kind of an annoying character, man.
What is he? A frog or a
Yeah,
toad?
I think he is. Yeah,
Frog, right? Yeah. Such funny ass characters. It's such a Nintendo thing, right? This how Nintendo are the Star Fox characters. That's just classic,
yeah,
kind of goofy Nintendo characters right there.
yeah. And that's what I love about Nintendo, man. They come up with just some of the craziest stuff sometimes, and it ends up, I mean, it ends up turning into a pop culture icon in most cases. You know?
You know, Square. We're looking at I think Super Mario RPG there for a second.
Yeah.
They made a really good. I really like the Mario Sports Mix on the Wii. Have you played that? You play basketball.
Uh,
Um,
no, no. Is it pretty good?
oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, Square made it. It's weird. Like, think what Square made a sports game, but it's just like it's just like a think of like Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort,
Yeah.
but like they put like Mario and Donkey Kong in it, and you can play basketball. Very simple controls. You can play dodgeball. Uh, awesome game. I never hear anybody talking about that one.
Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds fun, dude. I need to pick
yeah,
that up.
Mario Sports Mix. It's like a $15-$20 game, not expensive,
Yeah.
super fun. Play with friends. I was just streaming that one the other day. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna add that to the list, man, of games to pick up.
And oh man, and because of the upscaling, I was playing on the Wii U, with the HD, and that cutscene in the beginning, it looked like I was playing it on the Switch. It was just
Hmm.
so beautiful the way they do the cutscenes on some of the beginnings of the Mario games on the Wii, or even like the cutscene on like Smash Melee on GameCube. Like, isn't
Oh
that such
yeah.
a cutscene in the beginning of that?
Yeah, dude. A lot of those still hold up, man. You're right.
One thing about GameCube, and while we have GameCube Galaxy in here too, they're always fucking scratched when you find them. I don't know if you're having that problem too. Whenever I find them, they're always fucking scratched, and they're a little ass disc,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not as easy as other discs to kind of what do you call it, condition
Resurface.
resurface. They're a
Yeah.
little bit more difficult because there's smaller area. And here's the other problem I have with GameCube. I love that system. I find the lens, the what do you call it, in the GameCube to be
Yeah.
kind of weak. Like, they always play fine on the Wii when I like a first generation Wii when I stick them in there.
Hmm.
But I had a problem with the GameCube. It wants like the fucking discs mint, or it doesn't want to read them good. It would give me like reading errors, and I don't know if that's because they're like the GameCube lenses are prone to dying pretty easily, right?
Uh, I mean, I've never had any problems with him, but maybe I've just been lucky.
Yeah. Well, the problem I was having, like, it only wanted to read the really minty ones. Maybe
Now,
active unit, but I usually find like something works or it doesn't.
yeah, now it's possible that the lens might have to be adjusted or recalibrated. There's actually a little knob on the inside of the GameCube that you can use to make adjustments on the lens. I can't remember exactly what the term is for it, but there's plenty of tutorials out there for it, and sometimes that can fix lens issues. And then sometimes the lenses get dirty, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's just a matter of cleaning them.
Yeah, and it's not like GameCube Galaxy is talking about how he never seemed to have that issue. It's not that I never was scratching. Like, the way I take care of my discs, it's like, might as well be in a fucking museum, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just like, how people. Here's what happens. Why does the normal person that you buy from, why did they scratch their fucking disc? Why? Because they stuck it on like a shelf or on a counter and fucking moved it around, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what your typical idiot American does with their disc, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I
Look what
bought.
people do with their Redbox movies, right? Back in the day.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
You know, they fucking throw it on a shelf, move it around like a fucking coaster, and
Yep,
scratch the shit out of it, right?
yep, yep.
And then they wonder, how did they get scratched? Because you didn't keep it in the case, you dickhead.
Yeah, man, dude. Yeah, I buy it, dude. I
That's
buy a lot of.
that's what we come across. Why they're also scratched from people.
Yeah, yeah, I buy a lot of game lots, man, and generally anything from that generation, GameCube, PS2, Xbox, generally anything from that generation, I find just gets the shit scratched out of it. It never
Yeah.
fails, man.
Also, too, like I'm just thinking of potential reasons why the GameCube discs maybe got more fucked up than others. Because first of all, it's kind of small, right? It's probably easy to drop.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
And you know, for kids, because think about it, you gotta remember, we're adult collectors, but who was playing this shit back in the day?
Right.
Probably fucking 12-year-olds, right? So they're dropping it, falling on the ground, getting kicked. When they actually snap it in the console, it's kind of small. So they're kind of maybe shifting it around. You could even scratch the fucking thing trying to snap it in.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely just people didn't take good care of their shit, dude. I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. And even today, man, there's adults today, dude, that don't take good care of their games. So, uh, it's a pet peeve of mine.
Right. Luckily, the Blu-rays are a lot harder to scratch, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. Blu-rays are super durable. I mean, it's damn near impossible to mess up a Blu-ray. I don't think I've had a few that I've had problems with from game lots, but generally they're all pretty good.
Right. You know, the GameCube too, another thing. The graphics are very so the example I'd make is like if you're looking at OG Xbox versus PS2, you kind of can't tell sometimes the graphic differences. But there's something about the GameCube. It's got a unique style to the graphics, don't you think?
Well, I mean, it just depends on the game, and actually, what a lot of people don't know is the PS2 was actually the weakest console from that generation. The GameCube was actually quite a bit more powerful than the PS2. Like there were a lot of multi-platform games that actually ran better on the GameCube than the PS2. Had a higher frame rate. Now the Xbox, of course, was more powerful than both of them, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but it really just depends on the game. Like most multi-platform games look pretty much
Yeah.
the same to me.
It's so much more refined N64 graphics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you play like Smash Melee, or you play like you know, Super Mario Kart Double Dash, or you play like Luigi's
Mhm.
Mansion. It's like so much more refined N64 style. Well, because obviously it was the next console after that. But also, how do you feel about the way the GameCube looks, the lunchbox? I mean, how do you feel about it?
Dude, I love it, man. It's one of my favorite console designs. It's so simple. It has a fucking handle. The
Yeah,
GameCube has a handle, dude. I mean, if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what does.
it's one of the most out there designs, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
How,
pretty
how many
unique,
designs
man.
is a square, right?
Yeah,
Well, this is like a tiny little lunchbox.
yeah,
I mean,
and
the form factor is very different than anything else.
yeah, and it makes it easy to fit it on an entertainment center. Yeah, I love the design of the GameCube, man. One of my favorites.
For controller ports versus a lot of times there's only two
Yep. Right.
on the console.
Yeah, like the PS2 only had two controller ports. You had to get a multi-tap to play with four controllers.
Right. When it comes to PS2, um, do you prefer the fat or the slim?
I like the Slim, definitely like the Slim a lot better. And the Slims tend to work better and not have as many problems too.
Do they? Oh, I didn't know that. See, what
Yeah.
I heard from a guest we had this guy Dizzy that we're friends with, and he was saying that almost all his slims, the lens failed on him. I don't know why.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure about that. I'm just speaking from my experience. In my experience, I've had less problems out of Slims than the fat models.
Well, also that's interesting because I tend to lean towards version twos of consoles because you know there are a lot of times there's this smaller, there's slimmer line, like, the PS3 Slim versus the original PS3. I tend to like the Slim better. Even though the early PS3s were backwards compatible, like, by the time you got to the version 2 360s, they weren't red ringing like the originals were.
Right.
When you've got, obviously, the Xbox One S and X were far superior to the, not just in size, but performance, and like, they usually cut down the heat too, right? Like, they don't run as hot.
Yeah.
They just overall improve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you get a nice bundle price that I like. I like that bundle price by the time you get to a version 2 console.
Oh yeah, you tend to get better deals by then for sure.
Now I'm having trouble seeing what game this is here. It's running kind of dark. Are these penguins?
Yeah, this is Over the Hedge. It's surprisingly fun to play co-op.
Gotcha. So local co-op when you're just playing 2 players with a friend on the couch.
Yep. I mean, that's what this video is all about. It's just showcasing some co-op hidden gems on the GameCube.
Yeah, it was so dark. I thought those were penguins, but those probably aren't penguins.
Yeah, the game doesn't look that dark when you play it. I think it was an issue with the recording of the game. I think it just recorded it a little dark for some reason.
Do you have any trouble recording PS2? When I was hooking it up to my Elgato, because I have one that has a modded hard drive to have all the games directly on it.
Yeah.
I was just trying to stream that, and I was kind of getting like, it almost looked like I had to keep restarting my software because it was almost looking like fucking scrambled porn or something. Like,
damn.
The signal looked all like rainbowed out, Yeah.
I mean,
I was talking to somebody. It's not supposed to have that copyright protection on it like a PS3.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't have a lot of experience recording PS2 gameplay footage. I've only done it a couple of times, so I think when I was recording it, it was okay. It didn't look that great, but it was okay.
Yeah, and I have one of those cheaper HDMI adapters for it that, like, you kind of plug into the USB on the front, and then you plug it in the back, and then you hook an HDMI cable to that. I have one of those.
That might be the problem.
But it wasn't giving me problems just direct to the TV.
Yeah.
When I tried to run it through the streaming.
Yeah. There's no telling.
Pretty much the whole reason I got it for, because I wanted to be able to have the whole library at bay to stream.
Right.
Now, we got a Harry Potter game here. I haven't even seen Harry Potter movies, but I've heard good things about the games.
Yeah, some of the games are pretty good. Chamber of Secrets is probably the best one, I would say. And this game's all right. I mean, it's not going to blow you away or anything, but if you play it co-op, there's some pretty decent fun to be had.
When it comes to co-op games too, I like that these ones you're picking are full screen. I can't stand when they do a split screen.
Oh yeah.
It just fucks with my head. I can't even look at it.
Yeah, there's a few in this video that are split screen, but it seems like a lot of them are full screen, just both of you on the same screen, which I prefer that when at all possible. Split screen, I don't know. I don't like that it cuts the TV in half and you can't really see as much when you play.
And even if it's a massive TV, it kind of ruins it because it's split in half. It kind of makes your eyes plays with your eyes.
Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta squint to see things better, or at least I do, anyways.
And I know later on you open. I think I might have thrown in this playlist at some point. Unboxing a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. Is the one you've been leaning towards playing more of?
So, funny thing, so when I first got them, I actually was playing the PS5 the most at first, but then I started digging into Game Pass on the Xbox Series X, and now I'm pretty much playing that a lot more than the PS5. So, because I'm playing a lot of games on Game Pass. I love Game Pass, man. It's a great deal.
Especially with because I a lot of the games I have, I'll look on Game Pass for friends that have Game Pass to be able to get games that I have already, you know? So it's like,
Mhm.
it's looking for a cheap way for friends to get the same games you already have.
Yeah.
Play you in, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely. Yeah.
More
Yeah,
than I'm
actually.
looking at using it to just try stuff. I'm looking
Yeah.
at, like, to tell my friends, "Oh, you can get this now, and we can finally get on some multiplayer."
Yeah, yeah, and I actually did that recently with my partner in the YouTube channel, my nephew. He edits the videos. Me and him have been doing some co-op games on Game Pass and having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, one of the recent ones they just put out the other day was the Doom from 2016.
Yeah, that's a badass game.
It's fun to play with friends on there.
Oh yeah.
I like how fast it feels, like how fast
Mhm.
you're walking,
Mhm.
you know, because you kind of feel sluggish sometimes in Call of Duty games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you're kind of slugging along. That one, you're just like you're fucking running like the Flash or something.
Yeah, dude. Doom games are
Going
all
around
about speed, man. Because to make them as intense as possible, you gotta keep moving.
some of these, you're picking some of these like was that a Pixar Over the Hedge?
Yeah, this is The Incredibles.
This is Incredibles. That was Disney, right? Or was that Pixar again?
Uh, think I think that was Pixar. Could be wrong about that, but yeah, I think The Incredibles is Pixar.
And because I confused when Disney owned Pixar and then when they didn't own Pixar, and then whatever was the deal with that. And sometimes I'll even go on Disney Plus and like I was like, where are the Despicable Me movies? And that must have been when Pixar they didn't own Pixar or whatever. Was that
I'm just waiting on Disney to own everything at this point.
Yeah, they probably will.
I hope not, because I don't
They'll,
really like Disney.
they'll probably own us at some point too.
Yeah, for real, man. They probably
Maybe
already do, and we don't even know it.
Amazon will own us too.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that, Disney and Pixar, Nickelodeon, I tend to like games like from like those games,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they make a lot of platformers that are kind of fun, even though they're marketed for kids.
Yeah,
Some of
dude.
those games are really fun.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, dude. One of the best.
Yes, definitely. What do you think of the port? Really, I mean the Switch port.
It was great, man. It was great. I thought they did an excellent job on it. Yeah,
Yes,
that one was actually a remake, complete remake.
fun game to explore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that game, man.
I just wish Nickelodeon could be even close to the shadow of what it once was.
Yeah.
Like early mid '90s, Nickelodeon was like kicking Disney's ass. I mean, Disney had Aladdin. Like arguably, Disney put out like two of their best movies, Aladdin and Lion King, in the '90s. But like as far as like on TV, like properties, like Nickelodeon had Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life. Just those alone,
Mm-hmm.
like they were just killing it. And I love like games with those properties.
Yeah, those were the glory days of Nickelodeon, man. Not like that anymore,
It's
sadly.
not all. So see what we're going to next here for the video. I like that little how you did it like a GameCube style, and then the animation there on the
Mhm.
TV. That's really cool. Did you think that whole thing out, or did you give him like a vision that you
Yeah,
had?
so I kind of gave him like a general idea of what I wanted, and he just took it and ran with it, man, and kind of put his own vision in there, and it just turned out perfect, man. Like he kind of deviated from my original instructions, but you know what? I wasn't even mad because it just turned out so freaking awesome.
What are some things that you don't have in the collection that you are in the back of your mind? Like, I still got to get that. I still got to get that console. I still got to get that game. I still got to get that box, that accessory. Like, what's in the back of your mind lately?
So I really want a Panasonic Q GameCube. That's kind of a what do you call it? A holy grail item for the collection. So I'd like to get a hold
That
of one
shit
of those one day.
that comes with the DVD player.
Yeah, yeah, and it lights up, and yeah,
Right.
it's dude, that thing is so awesome, man. And I'll get one eventually. I just haven't got around to dropping the cash because if I get one of those, I want to make sure that I get one that works. You know what I mean? Works
Yeah.
perfect. I don't want to get one that's half broke or some shit like that.
See, that's one of those consoles you could accidentally find in a Goodwill.
Yeah, maybe. Probably not in America though, because I think that one was a Japanese exclusive.
Right. But just the way it looks, I mean. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Some mom or grandmother could be like, I don't want this angled CD player, like
right.
not knowing what it is. Just looks like a fucking shiny little box. Looks like a fucking kind of like a shiny little alarm clock, fancy alarm clock or something, right?
Yeah, it kind of does, man. It really
They
does.
could end up just getting rid of that, being like, I'll just give it to Goodwill. Or you would hope
Man,
that would happen.
dude, if I ran into one of those at a Goodwill,
They
and
put
sorry,
$5 on it, $5
dude,
sticker.
man, if I and sorry everybody in the audience, I'm gonna be a little profane here, but if I ran into one of those at a Goodwill, dude, I'd fucking cream my jeans right there immediately.
Most collectors would.
Yeah, and that probably says a lot about me as a person.
Or you would think
uh,
like somebody could mistakenly donate like a 3DO or a CDI, and
yeah,
it's just like a stupid DVD player, like a CD, like that doesn't even look like a game console.
yeah, yeah. You're right, man. It really doesn't.
Those are the mistakes we hope to come across.
Oh yeah, yeah. It could happen, man. It's entirely possible. It's unlikely, but it's definitely possible.
Somebody donates a Virtual Boy to Goodwill because they thought it was binoculars.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You hope those kind of weird things happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. They probably do. It's just you got to be at the right place at the right time.
How about as far as like the content you make, because there's a lot of variation. You hit on a lot of different consoles, even though, like you said, like some of your favorites are GameCube here, which you have the full North American library of. How do you balance? Do you look at it like I've made a lot of videos on this? Let me go to this. Is that how you kind of vary your content in your mind?
Uh, Really, I mean, I plan my videos well in advance. Like I have a spreadsheet schedule, and I have
Oh, shit.
like for this year, dude, I've got every video planned out pretty much for the rest of the year. But I
Schedule.
mean, yeah, but it could change. My schedule, sometimes my schedule changes, but as far as, what videos I decide to do, it's really just whatever I feel like doing. I make the content that I like to make. And if it's stuff that people enjoy, that's a bonus. But I think that's me personally, I think that's one of the most important things for a YouTuber to do is make content for you. Make content that you enjoy. Don't like, you know what I
Otherwise,
mean?
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, dude, if I was making videos on shit that I just have no interest in, I would hate doing YouTube. I would lose the passion. And if
Yeah.
you lose the passion, it's gonna show. It's gonna show on your content. It's gonna show whenever you're on camera. So yeah, I try to only do videos on stuff I'm interested in, and if it happens to be a video that um, gets hit in the algorithm, or if it happens to be a video that a lot of people like, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah, I'll give you credit right there, though. You're the first person I've ever heard that we've interviewed that's talking about that spreadsheeting out their content.
Oh
That's
yeah,
pretty impressive on its own. There, maybe you can teach me how to use a spreadsheet.
it's not that bad, man. I mean, I don't do anything special. I just go on Google Drive, and I've got a Google Sheet on there, and I just have a couple of columns, and I just add my videos. I just put one column for the video title, one column for the date, one column for the status that it's in. So like, have I filmed it? And is it currently being edited? Has it been uploaded? And then I have one column for notes, and that's pretty much it.
You could help me revisit why I failed managerial accounting twice in college. 'Cause I fucking spreadsheets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not for everybody, man. That's for sure. I mean, I've always used spreadsheets in my job that I've been at for the last 10 or more years, so I'm used to them.
When you were getting deep into like a console collection, like a 500 game GameCube collection, was there a way you were keeping track of that too with like an app or something, like so you don't buy the same game twice? Or it's all
Yeah.
just in your hand?
Yeah. I had a game collection app that I used to track my collection, and I've actually switched to a different app about a month ago called Game Eye, and it's a great app for tracking your collection.
Cool. Game on.
Yeah, but that's a must, dude. I mean, like if you're doing, if you're trying to go for a full set, you gotta keep track of your collection, or you're gonna be buying doubles all the time.
Right. It's very easy to just slip your mind something that you had.
Oh
And
yeah.
you get home, you're like, great, now I got doubles.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And that's that. Nothing pisses me off more, dude. When I buy a game and I'm like, oh, sweet, a new game to add to the collection, and I get home and I've already got the damn thing.
You know how we spoke about how you downsized your NES collection. Is there another collection you may foresee downsizing in the future?
Uh, yeah, I mean, right now I'm downsizing literally everything except GameCube. I'm not touching the GameCube collection, but everything else I'm downsizing like a lot.
Those
But
game prices, I'm not surprised you ain't downsizing that collection.
yeah, I mean, and plus, I mean, I've spent the last few years completing the collection. It would be kind of
Yeah.
crazy if I sold some of it after completing it, you know. Plus, I do a lot of GameCube videos, so
What are some of the worst GameCube games?
Charlie's Angels, Men in Black, Bad Boys, Auto Modelista. There's quite a
Hollywood movie ported.
yeah, dude. I think Charlie's Angels is probably one of the worst GameCube games, but Bad Boys is definitely
So
right
it's
up
even
there.
worse than the movie was.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'd rather watch the movie any day.
Yeah, the movie's hilarious to me. It's like three three actresses that pretty much hoard themselves out. I mean, they're decent actresses on their own, and they act like just total idiots in the movie. I don't know if you remember in both movies they act like they're brain dead.
Yeah,
The whole
yeah, yeah.
It's almost like
Definitely.
they agreed to be like dumb music video girls, like in
Yeah,
those two movies. Like that's what
yeah,
they acted like, right?
yeah. Definitely
Taking them
poorly
around.
written movies, man.
I think that's like that director that his name is just like three letters. Oh, McG. Yeah. That's the director. You know, a movie's gonna be fucked up when the director calls himself McG. Is his name? That's
Yeah,
gonna be
that.
a weird movie.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. That is kind of crazy.
Uh, yeah. Anyways, that it reminds me of like because we could go back to NES or even fucking 2600, and we could talk about movie related games that were fucking ass.
Yeah,
And like AVGN made half of his videos on that. How many bad movie time like remember like the Schwarzenegger game special, like just going through how many fucking terrible Schwarzenegger movies were made into games, which are awesome movies, by the way. I love all the Schwarzenegger movies, but the games, something else. Some were
yeah,
good, were bad.
yeah. And that's unfortunate too, man, because they could have been badass games. I don't know,
Yeah,
what happened there.
it had all the potential to be amazing games. They were fucking unbelievable action movies,
Yeah,
some of the best ever made. And then they put these games out that couldn't have been farther from what the movie was, didn't follow plot lines, and were made by who knows LJN or something.
yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, dude, because man, just so many of them just could have been just fucking amazing games. I don't know what happened. Like, who drops the ball on turning an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie into a badass game?
Right. Let's go to some like just name some other systems that just bad games just in general. Obviously there's like Super Mario 64. Everybody thinks of that, but like, what are some? I like talking shitty games sometimes because sometimes it feels like all we do is just fucking jerk ourselves off to what fucking games we love so much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about games that just fucking suck. What games come into mind that you hate? Like for me, like Dash Galaxy, NES, just a piece of shit. Hide Lied. There's just some terrible games.
Yeah, those games are pretty fucking bad, dude.
What comes to your mind? It could be any system.
Oh man, what comes to my mind? For some reason, I'm having a hard time thinking about that. Because I mean,
Positive food.
yeah, because like I don't know, I don't play like if I play a game and I'm not digging it, I just stop playing it. You know what I mean? So I don't really play them enough to start hating them, if that makes sense.
It's funny because I can remember like Hollywood Video, whatever reason they had like a stack of Dash Galaxies there, and I should have known better right then that they're gonna fuck me on that game, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like, why would they have a stack of them? Why would they have a stack of Dash Galaxy? Because the game is fucking horrendous. That's why they had
Yeah, that game.
and they were like $2 or whatever. But they got me. Like you ever play a game and you're just completely pissed at how bad it is?
Actually, yeah, let me give you an example. A game I played recently for an episode of GameCube Gallery. I played Sonic Heroes, and dude, I couldn't stand it. That game, it was terrible. Dude, I like generally when I do an episode of GameCube Gallery, usually I'll beat the game. But I was hating that game so much that I just had to stop. I had to stop playing it. I couldn't do it anymore.
Now I'm not familiar with it. Was it the controls? Was the story stupid? Was what was it about it in particular?
Yeah, the story's stupid, and it doesn't really feel like a Sonic game to me. Because for me, Sonic games are supposed to be fast, simple controls, simple mechanics. This game was way too complicated. You played as 3 fucking characters at once, basically. You swapped between them, which broke up the speed, so it didn't have the speed of a Sonic game. The level design is bad in most cases. The controls are bad. But the worst thing about it, man, was the cheap deaths. 99% of the time when you die in that game, it's because of bad level design or bad controls. Like you'll be like if you're Knuckles, for example, you'll be trying to attack an enemy and shit. Yeah. And let's say because the combat in that game is like button mashing basically. So let's say you're fighting an enemy and you kill the enemy, but because you're button mashing so much, you hit the punch button one more time after the enemy dies, and you'll punch yourself right off the stage and die.
That's crazy,
dude. It pissed me off. So yeah,
Sonic games that it's almost like they were just throwing at a dartboard, like like a dartboard full of titles that they could call the Sonic games, and then just pull it out of their ass.
Right.
Happen in the game. That's like what it feels like. How many there have been?
I don't think Sega knows what to do with Sonic when it comes to 3D. I really don't think they know what to do. I think they should have just stuck with 2D, in my opinion, with Sonic games, because I've yet to play a 3D Sonic game that really blew me away or made me get the feeling that I get when playing a 2D Sonic game.
It might have been the best mascot that's been the most bastardized.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Over time.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Because out of the 30 games that have maybe come out since the classic Genesis ones, I mean, maybe 5 to 7 are good. Mm-hmm. And maybe like 15 to 20 are just mediocre. And then maybe 5 are so bad you never even want to play them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 3D Sonic games I haven't played yet that I've heard good things about. If anybody in the chat's played them, it's Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. I've heard that those 2 Sonic games are actually pretty good.
Well, just think if Nintendo fucked around with Mario like that and just not giving a fuck what they put the Mario name on. Thank God they've kind of been so careful.
Yeah.
Like walking on eggshells with what they're going to put out on it. One I see everywhere. Does this game suck? Because I fucking see it everywhere. That Olympic Games one with the Mario and Sonic. Why do I see that game for sale fucking everywhere? Is it bad?
I mean, I've heard that they're actually not too bad. I've heard they're pretty decent games. I think they play sort of like a Wii Sports kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's more like sports-based mini games and stuff like that. But I mean, they seem to get halfway decent reviews.
I see it everywhere. That game, the Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games.
Yeah. There's several different ones too.
It's like everybody bought it, and then everybody wants to get rid of it. for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think it's one of those games where, you play it a little bit and it probably gets a little repetitive and boring, I would imagine.
Right. It's a little random too. Like, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. It's like,
That's kind of a weird idea, huh?
Yeah. It's like, Mario and Sonic like swimming or something. It'd be some odd.
Yeah. It's weird, man. Like, but you know what? Hey, that's another thing I love about Nintendo, dude. You never know what the hell they're going to come out with. It could be the just strangest thing, and sometimes it ends up being an absolute blast.
And what are your thoughts as some, possibly over talked about in the last couple of weeks, but the OLED screen, were you expecting a Pro at 4K, or were you not surprised by the OLED?
I was not expecting a Pro because, I mean, most of this stuff was rumors. You know what I mean? None of it was, I mean, there was maybe some slight evidence and stuff like that. But I mean, really, I kept my expectations at bay. And I just, like, and this is what I do with Nintendo. I try to never listen to rumors, man, because if you listen to rumors and you think they're going to come true exactly the way the rumors say, you're always going to be disappointed. Always.
Yeah.
So I always just wait to see what Nintendo says. Now, for me personally, the Switch OLED, for me, it's a great announcement because I mostly play my Switch in handheld mode. That's, you know what I mean? So the idea of being able to play a Switch with a hell of a lot better screen appeals to me because I don't play my Switch docked very often.
Yeah. And then just for conversation's sake, I'm the exact opposite because I'm this guy that always wants to play it on the biggest screen I got.
Yeah, right.
But say if I had some kind of job or some reason I'm traveling a lot, I would use the hell out of it in handheld mode.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I play. The reason why I play in handheld mode mostly is because I'm so damn busy. I typically don't have a lot of time to sit in front of a TV, so I can grab my Switch here and there, and you know what I mean, and play it in handheld mode and get some gameplay in.
Right. Have there been any I see that you've done your interviews on your channel. Mm-hmm. I love to see that. That's one thing we're all about.
Yeah.
Not just for the content's sake, but to expand our own network, to meet new people, to get new perspectives, get tips on game hunting, find out about games that we need to play that we haven't. I mean, there's just so many reasons to do it.
Oh yeah.
As well as making an archive, kind of taking a snapshot of where we all are at a certain given time, right? It's a snapshot in time, and it's a way to look into, people are gonna see through just this little interview here. They might find out more just in this interview than from watching all your videos, just because when a channel is so focused on the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not really getting the insight into the why, the how, the who behind the person.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always tried to do with doing the interviews. The interviews aren't just a pointless pursuit. They're to give a snapshot of the person behind the channel, the vision, So this game right here, one of the questions Retro Reminiscence was asking, why did Def Jam fight for New York? What, in your opinion, why the hell did that price go to like 100, 120 bucks, 150, wherever it's at now?
So I think this is, one of those games that it's just like they didn't print very many copies of it, but at the same time, it's high in demand. Not only because of the popularity of rap music, but also it's a good game. Like they're both really, really good, fun games. So I think it just had a low print run, was high in demand, and a lot of people that got their copies kept their copies. So I don't think there's a lot of copies out there in circulation, but it's still always high in demand. So as a result, I think the price just keeps hiking on it.
But that's
just speculation.
Were there any other rapper games that came out? I know there's that 50 Cent game. I still haven't played it. Bulletproof, I think.
Yeah, that game's supposed to be pretty badass too, from what I understand. I can't really think of any others, man. Honestly, there's probably some, but I can't think of them.
There's the Eminem game where you have to take a lot of sleeping pills. No, that's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as like content maybe you haven't made yet that you're looking forward to making in the future, stuff maybe that's been in the works. Is there anything you kind of share with us? Kind of give us a spoiler or what's to come?
Let's see. Let me kind of think about this for a second. Well, I am working on a short film. So there is that, like a legit short film, and that will debut on the channel whenever I finish it. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, do I?
Is it like a documentary?
No, it's a short film, like an actual short film.
Cool.
Yeah, like I'm writing a script and everything. I'll have actors and actresses and stuff like that. So
can you tell us like what genre, like drama or comedy or?
This one's gonna be a comedy. I'm writing two right now. This one,
Cool.
the first one's gonna be a comedy. The second one's gonna be more of kind of like a horror.
There you go. I wouldn't have expected you to say that because we haven't talked about really, filmmaking or anything like that, other than making content, which is filmmaking in itself, right? I think people kind of forget that these are videos. This is like kind of like filmmaking in a way,
Oh yeah,
even
for
though
sure.
it's still filmmaking.
Yeah, and I'm heavily into filmmaking and videography right now, which I try to incorporate into my videos, to try to up the production value and stuff like that. And I'm constantly learning, man. I'm constantly trying to find little things I can improve in my videos because, if you make a small improvement in each video, even if it's just a tiny, tiny improvement that nobody really notices, those improvements are going to add up over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it adds to the polish.
Yeah, for sure.
On the video, especially when you can affect viewers in an emotional way, in a good a good way. Like you can, like Tyler, my retro life, somebody we had on the show. He can kind of pull at the heartstrings, right? The narration,
Yeah,
the home videos. There's a sentimentality there. There's a emotional response. When you can play with all those aspects,
yeah.
kind of incorporate those at will. Those are great skills to have when you're making videos.
Yeah, and some of my favorite videos that I've made are the videos where I try to incorporate a lot of comedy and make them very funny and silly because, if any of my videos that I make like that can make somebody laugh even one time, then that makes me happy right there.
Yeah. And I love like when a channel will surprise you in a way. Like
Hmm.
back to Game Dave again, I think one of his more recent videos. You probably know because my memory's bad right now, but I remember one of the more recent ones he was talking about collecting and just time. It was like about time, right? Like finding time to what happened to your channel? What happened to where are the videos? And he kind of goes through all these. He's talking to like another version of himself. It was almost very like Zach Galifianakis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean from the video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had like a southern version of himself he was talking to. I love weird stuff like that. Like it's like a character within a character.
Hmm.
I like that kind of stuff, like in videos.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've done something like that once in a video. Whenever I did a review of Dr. Muto, I played a mad scientist character, and that was the first time I've ever played another character on the channel. I think it turned out pretty good. It was pretty funny, man. Like this character I played, I got into it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a fun just exercise to try too, right? Push yourself in a new way, a new direction.
Yeah, because that was completely out of my comfort zone, dude. Like I've never like played a character before, and for some reason I was able to pull off this mad scientist character. I have no idea how, but I managed to pull it off, and it was a pretty damn funny video. It had a lot of my favorite moments in it. It was pretty funny.
Sometimes the more uncomfortable something you're trying in life is, like you're heading in the right direction, right? If something is really challenging or really pushing you in a new way to get better,
Hmm.
it's only going to lead to better things,
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely.
Well, with that said, Matt, thank you so much for doing this interview with us. It's been a blast talking games, talking content with you. Looking forward to this short film that you're working on.
Yeah.
Uh, two of them. You got your the comedy and the what'd you say the second one? Horror?
Yeah, it's gonna be sort of a horror. Yeah, not supernatural, but it'll be sort of a horror.
Excellent, man. You got a lot of stuff in the works. I tell you, stay busy, but I know you already are. You got your spreadsheet.
Yeah, yeah. The spreadsheet keeps me in check.
Listen, man, be in touch. We're gonna get this video uploaded on its own. This interview.
Okay.
Be sure to share it out. We're gonna continue to follow your content. Looking forward to what you got in the future. And yeah, man, thanks again. It's been a great Saturday night sharing with you.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun. You asked a lot of great questions, and yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, man. I always love coming on shows like this.